And we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Design Corner. My name is Ray Fernando, and I have with me Hosna Kasimi. And we are engineers and builders and people in this community starting this new podcast. And I thought it would be really cool today to introduce you to Hosna a little bit. And you can tell us a little bit about your background, and I can go off a little bit about mine. I'm kind of nervous. It's our first show together. So, what's up?
Yeah, hey Ray. Yeah, I'm Hosna. I'm a software engineer and content creator, and just been trying to put my design skills to practice through like side projects, making a bunch of them, and looking at like people's resources and taking inspiration from their web apps and stuff. So yeah, and me and Ray have been following each other for a while, and uh, admire each other's stuff that we post on social media. So Ray reached out and said like, "Hey, let's do something together. Let's create some sort of show about how to merge the gap between design and engineering." So I was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Hey there, how's it going, Ardian? Welcome to the broadcast. Yeah, we're doing something new today, and we're actually kind of starting an official broadcast, and we're doing it through like a live stream. And this is just going to be our chance to build the show together with you, everyone. And this is just a really fun way. We both admire design. I used to be an engineer at Apple for 12 years, and now I'm actually on my own, kind of exploring AI. And one of the interesting things is that when you no longer work at a big company anymore and you're doing stuff independently, is that you no longer have a design team that's there to design stuff for you or designers to walk up to and talk to about design and engineering stuff. So it was a privilege that I had as an engineer. And now, it's like, you're kind of out here alone and you're trying to reach out like who's doing design, who's doing cool stuff. And for me, I gravitate to those types of people and people who are building cool stuff in the community. And I thought, hey, why don't we just create a cool podcast show? I see you're doing cool stuff as well. And I love, like writing software, and I've done a lot of stuff on the devices, physical devices, little watches and things, for a decade plus in tech, and now being on my own, just trying to connect with folks in the community. So we're really kind of starting off this show to kind of talk about some designs that we like, things we've seen around the internet, and maybe kind of like learn some lessons along the way about how to build stuff. It's a little bit, for me, and in my experience, it's different building when you're not building for a big company, but when you're building for yourself, you actually have a lot more freedom. But with a lot of freedom means you can go in a lot of directions, especially related to design and stuff. So definitely also appreciate all the love that people are hopping onto the stream and kind of participating in chat. We're doing something too. Nice Apple Watch. Is that the new one? This is the series, the series one of the bigger ones and stuff like that. So cool. No, this is really fun to see all the participation that's happening on the stream. We're doing a multi-stream broadcast, so you can actually find us on X, on Twitch, through Hosna's Twitch. We also have stuff going on YouTube. And we got the multicam set up here as well. So we're trying to keep it fancy, flashy, designer like and stuff like that. So got the podcast streaming. So yeah, give a thumbs up if you're kind of digging the stream right now. Just kind of the audio sounding pretty good on your end. Please let us know if there's any hiccups, because we're just kind of testing this out and so forth. And yeah, how about you, Hasna? What's your kind of design journey been? Or
Design
just
journey,
building
very
building journey? Yeah.
very self-taught. I mean, I like my background is more technical, so like I the only roles that I've ever had were like software engineer. I did hardware for a little bit, so I was doing like embedded systems for a little bit and working with Raspberry Pis, but not necessarily have an emphasis on like UI, UX, and building out web apps. Which I think once
Mm.
I did start to do that, it was really interesting. And
Hmm.
then also, as I started doing that, then I noticed small things on apps that I use on a daily basis, and then started thinking about, oh, like these small subtle things are very intuitive. Someone thought about that, and then
Right.
I think that's what made me gravitate and like look more into it, and then like really like learn how to get a good eye for design. And it's very like subjective. Everybody has their own opinions on what's good and you know not, or is there such thing as a bad design? Probably,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense. That's just cool. Yeah, so it's been kind of fun to explore with everyone here, and definitely appreciate all the love that's rolling in right now. Good production, guys. Definitely appreciate it. Hello, and there's some questions also in the chat. Just as a refresher, do you think it's more important to build design project or just focus on DSA? Um, I don't know. It's kind of hard because I actually have a non-traditional background. I mean, I got into Apple literally with no, CS degree, being a dropout, and just kind of grinding my way in, through like working at the Genius Bar and then like applying to different engineering roles. And back in the 2010 era, it was like very different back then. The phone stuff was just getting started. Apple was still kind of on the edge. They weren't really like producing much, and they were entering the realm of that. So I don't have any practical advice for you, but I also forgot we're doing a giveaway on this stream today, and we're going to give away a $25 Amazon gift card. So we actually have a link to go fill that out, and the link that you want to fill out is right here, right now, at dub.sh/win live. It's win dash live. So if you go fill it out, just put your information, your email, and we're actually, it's part of helping us understand who you are, to help our show, because we want to make content that's catered towards you and actually add value to your life. We appreciate that you're able to show up on our first stream ever, to help us, understand like what is it about design you want to learn about, what is it about engineering. And for us, we want to like approach this from two different angles. I feel like we should be able to approach this as an engineer to build things, but also like looking at it from like the designer lens. So, if I don't know stuff about design, like reaching out to the right designers in the community and then pulling them in and maybe asking for their expert opinion, reaching out and maybe like also as an engineer and builder, looking at some of the designs that we like and then talking about it. So part of our discussion, which is really nice to have a two-person show, is that I can say, Hasna, what do you think about this design? And we're going to be doing some of that a little bit later after the show. So that's kind of some of our goal here that we're doing. And it'll be also nice to go from the designer perspective. There are some people who are into design, but they can't code. And so what's happening these days now with the advent of AI, especially with Claude Sonnet and then ChatGPT, is that people are taking these ideas and even designs and sketches and then putting them into the language model, and it produces code that actually runs. So imagine being able to come up with a cool design and then prototype it and then hand that off to an engineer saying, hey, this is my app idea. I've been iterating. I've been getting feedback from the community. It's been awesome. And then, and kind of rolling with that. So our goal with this show is to kind of unite both of those areas, and grow together and grow with you. So definitely appreciate everyone who's been able to participate. So by filling out that survey, dub.sh/win live, we're going to actually announce the winner at the end of this broadcast. So if you stay tuned to the end, you'll actually see who wins. So for every person that participates, put your email, genuinely fill out the information. We want to know a little bit about you. Should take less than 1 minute. I think, Hasna, it took you like 36 seconds to go through the survey. Just
yeah,
a couple of questions. It's really simple. But it helps us out
free
because,
money.
yeah, free money, yeah, free $25 Amazon gift card, and you can help us out because we're actually trying to help you in the end. So yeah, that's kind of awesome. So yeah, good production. It's also kind of fun to see the comment streaming in as well. Is there a no-code platform where you use WYSIWYG editor to implement a design? That's a good question. I haven't really played around with a lot of the design tools and stuff like that. And actually, one of the topics we thought about doing is like, how do you go from engineer to Figma, like zero to Figma? Because I've never used Figma and I've seen it, but like, launching the app, signing in, I just signed in for the first time. And it's like, what is this layout? So I know Hasna has some experience with that. When you're outside of the company now, you're kind of doing stuff with like, figuring out what everyone else is using. So this to me is going to be very, very helpful for us to kind of explore through the show. So yeah, definitely appreciate all the
Yeah,
love and the folks.
and then also, yeah, I want to chime in. Like as a developer, as an engineer, you don't really use, designer tools on a daily basis unless you take it upon yourself to, go learn it on your own or because I haven't never had a job where they're like, oh, we're using can you like take a look at the Figma as a developer? Because usually that does happen where the designers hand off to you Figma designs. But I personally never experienced
Mm,
that quite yet. But
okay.
I think in my own projects, it's helped definitely like I think visually because I'm a visual person, like getting inspiration and taking screenshots and stuff. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, we have the I have the multicam set up just to kind of add some variety and some spice, and you can kind of see the room a little bit. So we're working to also get Hasna's like set up a little bit more upgraded too. You have a cam coming in and some lights and stuff. So it's really fun for me to play around with some of these production items and get this going. So yeah, let's get the show kind of going. We have some folks that's shown up. Basically, this is our inaugural podcast of the Design Corner, and the Design Corner, we're here to really connect with you as builders and engineers to learn more about design and go through these exploration phases. And if you're a designer, kind of maybe giving you some insight of what it looks like from the engineering side and like implementation. And part of this thing is to learn and grow together. No one's perfect, but there are a lot of people in the community that know a lot more than we do. And so we're going to share our knowledge as we go through this journey. My goal is to try to build my own little app and kind of use some of these design principles that we learned to make it better and get feedback from the community. Because at the end of the day, it's really about providing value to the customer, and design is a really great way to do that. You know, with good language and color and spacing and stuff like that. I don't have a formal design background education. I just have like hands-on experience working at this, fruit company, in Silicon Valley for 12 years or something. Yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, I thought it would be really interesting to kind of, if you haven't had a chance to, then fill out that survey. Go ahead and do that because that's going to get you the access to win a $25 Amazon gift card by the end of the stream. And yeah, we should probably move on to our first topic today. And the thing that we talked about was how to make an app memorable. And Hasna has a really cool thing that you were talking about in our chats before the show, and you kind of wanted to share this insight. And one of the things about memorable design, I think, was just like, when you use software, one of the things you remember, it's like, oh, that was so cool. Just like that, there's usually an awe-inspiring moment where like there's a cool interaction that kind of hooked you. And that was the beginning to kind of get you to stay longer and to keep coming back and using it and giving you like that kind of reward system type of feel. And I just wanted to get your insight on kind of what you were seeing on your end there with regards to memorability.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. In terms of memorability, there are a couple key things, and you could learn from other people that have been successful at it as well. So, I signed up for this newsletter called The Design Scientist, and like I said, I like diving into looking at people like specifically designer portfolios. I think that's very helpful as well compared to I think engineering portfolios, where it's like more project based
Mm,
where like technical code wise, but like the designer portfolios, it's cool to see like how to design things. And then I came across this design agency, and then you could also learn a lot about design through Twitter design agency accounts.
mm.
Um, and they have this newsletter. I was like, this is perfect for the topic that we're going to be discussing. Are you memorable enough? And then I think in the beginning, I don't want to like read exactly word for word, but in the introduction, I think they are just trying to emphasize how many things that you see like a day, like ads, and how much time, how people's attention spans have shortened, and there's like this rule of seven where a person must see like a brand seven times in order for them to buy it. So that's why people spend
Wow.
like a lot of money on advertising
Mm,
and stuff like that. And like in regards to Apple, right? Like you see Apple ads everywhere. Like, why does Apple need to advertise? They're Apple. Doesn't everybody know about Apple? But they spend a lot of money, right? Because they want people to keep seeing their devices. They know that, oh, there's a new iPhone coming out, so they build a hype, and that keeps it in your mind. So I think when it comes to like even building side projects and learning about design, it's good to, I think, build in public, because that's a way of like getting feedback and seeing if your designs are sticking, if something goes viral, or if something is not being noticed, like what's the reason. Probably
yeah.
I think design has a big thing to do with it most of the time. So yeah, and then let's see, another headline: the cost of not being seen. So like the price that you're paying, like you spend a lot of time working on like projects, and let's say you have a really good a project that is functional and works, but the design isn't that great, right? You spend a lot of
Hmm.
time working on it, but then let's see, like people are not using it, so how do you fix that issue? And then let's see, they said the lesson here is trust takes time. So it takes time for people to build trust within your app. If your answer is yes, let's see. Landing pages that look great and convert, an email list with engaging content that clicks. Like there's all these things that you're trying to get
Hmm.
people's attention essentially.
That's right.
Um,
I also wanted
yeah.
to add in this comment here. This is like from Schizophrenic Web Developer. I love that name. That's a great name. This is more branding than design, I think. I guess it just depends on the scale of who you are and what you are approaching this with. Because sometimes, for me, I get exposed to apps literally just by scrolling on X, and it's like, oh, that's a cool app, or other people are sharing it on their social media feed, and that's kind of how I see it. I don't know what the brand is. The only thing that attracted me literally was the interaction design, some color, or like a deep like psychological need that I had to want to be fulfilled. And so like there's an app called Super Whisper that I just found out about, and I've been following them for a long time, but they just did an update where they showed a demonstration of like replying back by hitting a couple keystrokes, and they were showing like different contexts, like the terminal command, asking it what was the last thing I worked on, and it like executed the command. And design wise, it's not like the most sexy looking thing, but the outcome was what I was looking for, and that kind of drew me in. And so I think for us, or for me, I kind of want to, I think about these designs more from like a very scrappy, like single person entrepreneur standpoint, and more of like what's practical. And so I don't know the exact wording for it, like branding, design. And I feel like even professional people like try to categorize those things. And so just having the discussion of, what is a brand or what is like a good design, I think we're kind of grouping design and branding in a kind of like one general area, but, maybe more specifically focusing on the outcome for single like person businesses or whatever that are launching or as independent developers and stuff. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, Hosna?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they go hand in hand, right? A
Hmm.
design and branding, because it's what the user sees. So then that's the impression that they get from, right, like using your app or using whatever you build. So I think it's important because that's sometimes things that you don't really think about as a developer. You just focus on, oh, I'm just trying to solve this problem,
Hmm.
trying to make a crud app or like but like if someone isn't having a good experience, right? If they don't have like a good if your brand is associated with, oh, like the design, like the contrast is too much, or
Right.
you know it's
Yes.
not, then it's like a bad representation, and not someone's not going to want to keep using your app, or if you
Hmm.
promise something like on the landing page is going to
Mm.
copy. And I think we are having a discussion where like all these things like that has to do more with the social or like psychology aspect, as a big deal. That's like I think the whole thing of UX, right? User experience. And then the UI is what the user sees. So it's like all, I think like you said, it goes all hand in hand together.
Hmm.
Um, which I think, yeah, this article or this blog post or newsletter goes in depth, like with example, right?
Hmm.
With an example from Apple, like
Mm.
why are Apple known for being such a good brand, and why do you trust them? Why do you pay them thousands of dollars for like a silly little screen like a phone, right? It's because
Mm.
they have clean design. They like, it's very simple. You look at it, you're like, ooh, you feel like there's this sort of like this elite device, or something that it looks good, that that's not going to break, that is gonna, it's user friendly, there's not too many things that are confusing to use about. So that's like some things to think about in terms of that. Whereas compared to like, why do iOS and Android people have this conflict with each other? Like Android people are more, they like designs that have more flexibility, more control. You could do more stuff with it, whereas with iOS it's given to you, a clean design. You don't really have to worry about stuff like that. So I know I went
No, it's good.
a
It's
couple
very
different ways,
good.
but like, what?
Yeah, and as memorable design, I think that's kind of where, for me as well, like the joy that you get maybe when you first see something, right? And then try to use it. And then, like you said, like it's almost like a YouTube thumbnail where is this title really what I think it's going to be? And is that image really going to be what I think it is? And when you first click on it in that first 4 seconds, if you get that satisfaction, you get that, yes, this was what I thought it was, then it kind of keeps you in, right? Like there's these hooks that kind of happen throughout the application or throughout the use process. And how do you guide people through that? And like, what is that, right? So, or like, what's the key thing that drives it? Because messaging is very different, right? I mean, when they designed the iPhone, Steve had to like abstract everything a lot of ways to like at the very high level to communicate like what the message was. And I remember like just watching the keynote, and it's he was like, it's an iPhone, it's an iPod, it's an internet communicator, and like you had to like repeat it 3 times, and people kind of in the crowd didn't really get what he was launching. They knew it could have been a phone, but they were just like, okay, but it was still confusing. Like he had to like the whole phone operating system that today had to be distilled down to like those 3 concepts that people knew, and then kind of drive in like how to drive the features. I mean, it was really interesting how you talk about a product and introduce it to the world, and then the expectations that users have when they start using the products or designs to kind of like lead them in, right? And so that's, I guess, going back to our main topic, are you memorable enough? It's a pretty broad topic, and memorable has a lot of these, like basically these different hooks, right? From what you see when you start using it, and then memorable enough also means like, is someone going to take your product and then tell someone else about it? That's another part of the
Yeah.
memorability stack. Memorability stack. Let's go.
There we
We're-
go. How do you build that stack? Yeah.
how you build that stack? Yeah, that's that's interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Great. Great points. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. Interesting. I didn't know that story about like how it was first introduced, which makes sense though. Like
Hmm.
I think and it's okay not to get it right the first time, right? I think that's the thing where people are a little bit hesitant with design or scared to like really try different things, but that's the whole entire point is like iterating. You're not going to get it right the first time because it's like a CI/CD. You got to keep in a pipeline. You got to keep integrating and developing and seeing what clicks and um like I think designs that stay stagnant, right? That's why you see like the Apple logo or some things or like different types of logos they revamp it like with the Google logo, throughout the years it's changed. Why? So people could see a new version, not being afraid of change or like start the hype again and like get people talking, oh, did you see like the
That's right.
the new logo, whatever. um
Controversy. Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. But here, the second one, high converting landing pages, right? These are digital introductions, like the first impressions, right? You must impress and convert within seconds. So there's another resource that I came across. It's like the anatomy of a good landing page.
Mm,
And like I think if you see like most web apps, if you think about it, they're basically the same. The only thing that's differentiating them is the content or the
mm.
text that's within it. But like if you think about it, a hero section, you got your headline, you got your subheadline, you got your CTA, like your call to action, and then maybe like a demo of like or what the app is, or like some like visual asset associated with it to give you like a feeling, right? Going back to feeling and psychology, whatever, trying to get someone
Yeah.
to click a specific thing or get them to do what you want them to do, whether it's get signups. So that like design comes in hand, like as you can see in this example, right? The main screen is black, and that makes the blue button stand out. And then you got the header at the top, and if you want to navigate to these links, you can. And then you got the get started button to be a different color. So these are like small things to think about in terms of design, which makes a big difference because then you can see the contrast. You can see, okay, where do you want someone's eye to go to? Um, and then also the text, the text that you want someone, that the hook that you're talking about, right? That's the
Hmm.
headline. How do you get someone that, what's the first thing that you want someone to know about your site? Because like we have a short attention span, so that's why you want that text to be bigger than the sub headline. So like small things like that make a big difference. And then another thing, continuous subscriber engagement. So like the rule of seven that we mentioned earlier, you want someone to keep seeing the stuff that you're putting out, and make sure that you keep improving your design, right? So then it keeps them interested, it keeps them coming back. So here, like Airbnb is a great example. Dropbox's page is underwhelming. See, that's a great
You
comment,
right. It's
because
so good.
it's subjective, right? Some people might think, oh, like this is not, they didn't put any effort at all, right?
Right.
But maybe their analytics say something different. You don't know.
Right.
Here we go. Successful landing pages follow the attention, interest, desire, and action. Yep, exactly.
That's
I
so
didn't know
good.
that was the formula. Yeah, great.
That's
I'm learning
awesome.
something new too.
Schizophrenic,
Yeah.
thank you for like sharing this information. It's super helpful. Obviously, we're all trying to learn and share together, and this is super important. So, yeah, we're basically, for those who don't know, we're live on X, on Twitch, on YouTube. So we're like multicasting everywhere. And this is our inaugural show is called the Design Corner. For those who are just joining in, we just had a bunch of new folks just joining in, and we're out here just talking about design, and we're independent developers and trying to build stuff in the community. I used to be an engineer at Apple for 12 years, and now entering this kind of like independent space, and exploring a lot of AI apps. And there's a lot of different questions in design and desirabilities to be filled there, with many requirements and things. So kind of starting small and teaming up with my co-host here, Hosna, and we're doing this. And kind of today we're talking about a couple of things, like design and kind of keeping things memorable. And then towards the next part of the show, we're going to go into some of the things that, some of the designs and some things that we're seeing around the internet that are really interesting to talk about, and kind of give our little like critiques, just kind of like we're doing here. And then for those who are just joining in, you actually have a chance right now, as a little bit of a break. We have a link in that's right here. It's called, if you fill this out, dub.sh/winlive. We're going to be giving out a $25 Amazon gift card. And that's basically our thank you. If you fill out the survey and go to the very end, we're trying to start this new show here. And by you giving us some information about, like, hey, like I like this type of design, I am a designer or I'm an engineer, we get to tailor content better for you. And as a result, it takes you like less than 1 minute. I think it took Hosna about like 36 seconds to fill out. And that helps us. And then we're going to pick out one of the winners from the contests today at the end of the show. And you'll be the winner of, we're going to just announce your first name. And then we'll reach out to you via the email there that you've given us so that, we can give you the Amazon gift card. So if you haven't had a chance, definitely go sign up, dub.sh win live.
CTA.
CTA, yeah. Just like, okay. And now back to our normal programming. This is actually, our
Ray's
thing
voice
here.
is perfect for this, you guys.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go.
Let's
So
go.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was the last point. And then let's see. 75% of consumers judge a company's credibility based on the website design alone. That's a big percentage. 75%.
Yo.
And let's see. I know what you might be thinking. I don't have the time or resources to invest in the design right now. So then this is their way of like, it's a funnel for them this is their newsletter. Oh, if you want a design agency to help you, then you can do that. But I think we're good. We're trying to, learn some stuff on our own, right?
Right.
So I think that's it for this article right here. It was interesting. And then now I think Ray has a Twitter thread that he shared with me and wants to share with everybody. It's a really good, yeah.
So what I was thinking about was I was also looking for landing pages are interesting because part of like once you make a product, people need to find out that it's there, and then are they even going to join? And there's like a lot of psychology. And as our friend, the schizophrenic web developer, was sharing that there's like actually techniques here involve, attention, interest, desire, action, as like actual formula. And so I thought we'd also take a look at this Twitter thread to kind of take a look and see like what this process is, right? Because I'm still trying to learn about this, and I was like, hey, if I can take anything away from this, or we can learn together, maybe like if there's just one thing we pluck out from this entire stream that can help change our landing page to make it better, that's awesome. The real level up for me is like, how can I take this information and distill it down and add that into the language model to help me fill out these sections? And so that's kind of part of my goal too, is like anything that I learn, I take some notes and then I just put those notes into the language model as part of my desired outcomes and say, hey, maybe use this framework using these types of things. Here's my desired, outcome, and go build my landing page or give me the copy for my landing page. And you'll be very impressed by how good these language models can turn stuff around to fit that format for you. And so this is the process that was outlined here in this thread. And it says, pretty design is actually useless without data. And that to me kind of really hit me heavy and stopped me in my tracks, because it made me really think. It's like, wow, good design is useless without data. And that just means that like you can make something that's really beautiful, but if you don't have data in terms of like how it fits the customer, like who is your real customer, what value you're going to provide to them, the data, and like, is this something that they even need? Is this the right thing that we should be showing them? Is this the feature they even care about? Like that type of data, is very helpful, and that type of context and stuff. So I do the research and scan through everything my client has. So sales calls, recording, product materials, journey maps, and so forth. And like these things, kind of like we were talking earlier, help inform like what the customer is about. It's part of the reason why we're also asking for a survey here, is because by filling out that survey, you're going to get us information that makes our show better tailored content-wise for you. And so our goal is to try to, deliver really high valuable content through like a live stream format, through our personality, and not only a live stream format. We eventually want to like do a recorded podcast. So this is kind of like our dry run, and so to speak. And so by doing this, you can get us valuable feedback, and we definitely believe in this philosophy. And this is something in the thread that is being shared, and I thought we'd kind of share with you. And it's kind of like our little bit of our secret sauce. So we're kind of getting you in the behind the scenes. But I've never launched a podcast. This is like my first like official like podcast type of thing.
I know, but you streamed before, Ray. Don't give yourself some
I
more
just
credit.
I just
Yeah.
started streaming. Let's see, like earlier this year or so. Turning on the camera and then just keep upgrading my gear as I go. So yeah, it's been like less than. I just started my Twitter account like a year ago. So it's just been building up slowly and stuff to get this thing popping. So it's been pretty chill.
Wait,
And
Ray, I had a thing. If we could go
yo,
back to the
oh yeah,
previous one, wanted to ask you a question. So let's
yo,
say you don't have any of these things. Let's say you don't have a
right,
sales call recording. Let's say you don't have product, any of these. You're just starting brand fresh. I mean, you're starting brand new.
yeah,
Like where can you get this research from, right? And then I think you could also base it upon like UX and UI designer best practices, right? They
right,
Google, they look at
hmm,
competition, they look at maybe inspiration, like maybe color, palettes, and seeing, because there's this whole thing, color theory, like certain colors are associated with certain like maybe industries or certain feelings. You want a user to feel a certain way. So that line right here, feel
hmm,
everything what product empathy user feels. There's certain colors that give out certain feelings. So there's this
right,
whole like science behind it. So
hmm,
these are like a good, if you have these, that's great. I think that actually helps you more. But if you're starting,
that's right.
fresh, then those
Yeah,
things might be good to think about.
there's one book that I'm reading, or that I've just kind of finished reading. It's called Start Small, Stay Small. It's from Rob Walling. And in that book, it's a really interesting book about being a solopreneur and then only going very specifically after a very narrow, niche, small problem. And so what he's saying is that a lot of companies like Microsoft, or like the bigger guys who do something that you like, tend to shoot for like, they're investing millions of dollars. And so they want the returns to be like in the billions of dollars generally. And so their products tend to be very large, with very large feature sets, and very cater to like the big business demographics and stuff. But he says, like, if you could just pick apart one pain point that these people say, because it's such a large product, so many people publicly talk about it on X, on LinkedIn, on all these different places, the App Store, you'll start to pick apart like one narrow niche of that problem that to solve. They said, man, I like this, but only if it can do this. I would be like, oh my God, this is amazing. So just by going after that small problem, as an independent developer, you can make millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars, even $100,000 if you wanted to, for something even simpler, or even less than that if you wanted to as well. With like, it's just about the amount of energy you wanted to put. But that is like one form of data that he was actually talking about in his book as a solo entrepreneur, to go use that and say, hey, I'm going to tackle this problem. This is the data that I can get. This appears to be the customer demographic, because you can kind of get some of that information just from who they are, already publicly available. And that was an interesting way, I thought, of getting information. And if they're already used to a design language, you can study that in the app that you're going to basically kind of take and just build a smaller feature for, and then test things out, like build some familiarity with the same app and then just add a feature, or maybe take a different approach and like actually talk to some of the customers and reach out to them and say, hey, what is it that you really want? You talked about this little feature that could help you, and like, what does that mean to you? Or just observing them, I thought was really interesting. There was a podcast I was listening to for design, and this guy from Clorox, or no, he used to work at Procter & Gamble, and it was really interesting. And what he explained was he used to go down to make products and like interview and be in people's homes and watch them doing things. So he was watching this lady basically wash clothes, and he was asking her, why do you just wait for almost like a minute for the water to fill up in the washing machine? And she says, well, when I put the detergent in, I want it to mix well. And if I put the detergent in, it just goes through those holes and my clothes don't get washed as well. And he had this like aha moment. He was like, oh, that's interesting. So when you put the detergent in, that's a dry powder detergent at that time, when you put the detergent in, you then mix it with your hand. She's like, yeah, this is the way. That way, like all the clothes will get washed, and I know everything works. And so he went back to the scientists, and they were like, that's nonsense. I don't know why the customers do that. Like, the physics, like when water goes in, it's going to immerse, and like it doesn't matter. You don't have to mix it by hand. That's the whole point. You just put the powder in, it goes to the bottom. And what he unlocked here was a whole billion-dollar industry, and that's liquid detergents. And the way he was able to do that is like, there isn't actually a physical need here. There's a psychological need. And the psychological need that got unlocked there was the fact that the customers thought that they had to do this in order for the clothes to be like fully washed. And so by using the liquid detergent approach, they were able to kind of solve that and just like make billions, like with the B, and as through Procter & Gamble, because they figured out, like, just by watching the customer, they're able to see what the problem was and determine like the unlock there was the psychological unlock, not the like physical needs. So sometimes you can think what a problem is. You go talk to scientists, they'll tell you what the problems are. You go solve them, and the customers still use your product differently. So it's so important to, as much as possible, try to see if you can watch someone in action, or even have a screen recording or something that can help you get that feedback. Or just give something and just don't say anything and just watch people like use it. That alone, I think, can get you so much further ahead than you maybe even realize. And that story with Procter & Gamble can also relate to apps, because it's so easy to get so much advice everywhere. But really, at the end of the day, when you watch someone use it, is there a psychological need that they're trying to fulfill? That can also give a lot of guidance, and in design, right? I think could be very insightful and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I really like that history behind. I didn't know that liquid detergent. That's wow. What
Yeah.
was the
Yeah.
book called again? It
Start
was
Small,
called
Stay Small by Rob Walling, I think. Let's see.
Oh,
Start
Stay Small. That
Small. Yeah,
sounds
I think. Hey, Depew,
interesting.
how's it going? Thanks for joining in on
Ooh,
the stream.
okay.
Yes, Rob Walling. I think he has a website too. Yeah, Developer's Guide to Launching a Startup with No Outside Funding. Highly phenomenal book.
There
Definitely
we
would
go.
recommend it. It has definitely come into my radar because I'm an indie dev. I used to work at a big company. Now I'm kind of working on my own. And, the AI space is booming, and that's something I'm extremely interested in. And so I feel like, hey, these books kind of come into your radar as you start talking about them and put them onto the ether of, the internet. And so if you're listening, Google, please recommend more like this. It's just it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I know only Y Combinator. I think they're probably talking about some type of other reference I'm not really familiar with. So yeah, for those who are just joining on the stream, this is our a new show. It's called The Design Corner. It's myself, Ray Fernando. I used to be an engineer at Apple for 12 years, and my co-host, Hosna Kasami. And together, we're like trying to learn about design a little bit more and apply the stuff in a very practical sense. And this is our show to kind of do that and learn together with you and share resources, experience life. And so if you want to come hang out, we're trying to do this every Saturday, like right around 9-ish Pacific time. We just thought that this is just a good time to kind of wake up, kind of talk about design for the week, and go over some ideas and concepts and kind of let that kind of float on. And we do love that we have like this ability to participate with you through the comments and stuff. Thanks for sharing the book, Ray. Yeah.
Woohoo.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Like for me, I get great satisfaction just being able to share experiences about life, being able to share experiences about, my work, if I can, whatever I can. Apple's very secretive. So they, like now that I no longer work there, I don't want to violate any NDAs or share any trade secrets, but all of this stuff is just my own experience through life, and then Hosna as well. And we're both kind of on this builder journey and development journey as well. And there's a lot of experts that we would like to reach out to in the community. And if you're one of them, definitely reach out. And this is also a good time to maybe also promote our our link here up above. Dub.sh/winlive. So we're actually doing a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. We're getting very close to it. So you haven't filled it out, definitely fill it out because we're kind of getting towards the end of the show here. And so it takes about less than 1 minute to fill out to help us out. And what this is going to do is just going to allow us to better provide content, topics, and various things. So just, telling us a little bit about who you are, what, are you an engineer? What experience you have, your name and email and so forth. And that keeps us in a direct connection with you. So go ahead and check that out. Fill that out.
Help us help you.
Yeah, help us help you. You'll have the opportunity to win a $25 Amazon gift card. So that'll be cool. Got the crispy setup stream here. We got the nice camera. I have a skylight up above me, which is pretty interesting. And so there's more light coming in. And I can't remotely control my shutter right now. I have a device that's going to come in that's going to allow me to do that. But it's a little bit bright back here. And
It doesn't look bad. It looks nice. It's like you have a halo effect, It's like you got
Yeah, this is so fun. So let's see, 7Tracker. Is there a way to get that link in the description in the show of the show? I guess there's a question of if you can't even add a description in X Livecasts. Yeah, so it doesn't let me add descriptions on X. It only lets me put the title, which is so painful. We put the description on YouTube and also on Twitch. And I think if I put this link in the... Oh, you know what? I think I have to log into the chat and then reply. So let me go ahead and do that. And I'll I'll do like a little dance to kind of get my phone out. And I have to like pop into the stream like physically and then like type it in here. Oh, you can hear myself. Let's see, say something. I should be able to paste this in and then boop. Okay, cool. So I just commented myself. Yeah. And so you should be able to now see this on X. I don't think you can actually click it though. Dang. Yeah, it doesn't let you click it. Okay. Maybe I'll...
It's not that long, you guys. Come on. It's...
Yeah, I kind of try to make it short, but yeah. So let me also reply to the actual post for the stream. There we go. I just replied to the post.
Yeah,
so you should be able to see...
I could click it. Okay.
Yeah, the link down below right there. Ooh, yeah, I could switch my camera. So we have the multicam. So you should be able to see it like kind of down there for the Dub SH. And that's us on live. Yeah, kind of watching ourselves. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, got the multi-stream set up. Cool. So we're just about wrapping it up. UX pain points. X,
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God.
Great example.
Bro, that's a whole show.
There's so many like, dang it, I wish they could fix that,
Yeah, like just the streaming thing. So definitely appreciate like folks like kind of hanging on and staying there with us as we're doing our show and we're testing out this podcast thing. So we eventually want to have this like podcast like officially like not only be a live stream, because like the live stream is really cool for us to do this, but this will be chopped up into like actually official podcast style. And we got like a whole landing page that's going to be coming, and put our design skills to work. And that's actually how we can understand better design and find design resources. So there's a bunch of cool resources that I've been using, and I'm actually looking forward to sharing them in the future shows. And just kind of showing some products that we're working on, and also showcase any products that you're working on. Definitely send us a DM. And if you're going to fill out that survey, send us a DM and like let us know who you are. And if you want us to feature any of your stuff, we'd love to talk about it and kind of share that information, because I feel like that's super important to do. And it's a big community. So like that's a whole series, bro. Yeah, I think this is regarding the UX pain points for for X. Yeah. I mean, that's like, the whole Bible and stuff. So I think we'll want to kind of hop into the next little thing, which we're going to talk about, like things that we're seeing on Twitter, like design wise. And so one of the most,
did we finish the thread though? The thread
the
that you
thread.
were, yeah.
I think it'd be a good
Or
idea
no,
maybe
you,
if I launch back into that for like the next show, and
sounds
see.
good.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of fun because maybe move things along a little bit. We're kind of having some people just joining in, other people kind of still here, and then other folks who want to like know if they won or not. So I haven't even checked the link yet to see if there's anyone kind of like how many people have filled it out. So I'll do that shortly. Actually, if you click the link now, it may even tell you how many people have filled it out. If you do dub.sh/win-live, I think it'll say right
14
now
people.
14 people filled it out. Okay, cool. So that's 1 out of 14 to win a $25 Amazon gift card. Heck yeah, let's go.
Better than the jackpot or the Powerball odds.
The
So
Powerball, yeah. So I thought it'd be interesting today to talk about something I saw on Twitter, which was the color of the day yesterday. There are people who were dealing with, I feel really bad, for anyone who was affected by the CrowdStrike thing, because people were stranded at airports, super duper pissed. I would be too, if you were stuck and literally you couldn't get out because half the computers have blue screens. So it's interesting how Windows chose the blue screen, and it still stayed the blue screen all throughout the years. It never changed it to like a green screen or purple screen or something like that, for their error dialog message. So there must be an interesting story for why they chose that. I just thought it was really kind of
imagine
funny.
if it was a red screen though. Like that's I think
Maybe
right.
that's
If it
why they
was a
do
different,
red.
yeah.
Wow. And they're
Oh
just like,
my
yeah, it's blue.
God.
It's cool. Just stay cool.
It's
Like maybe it's like,
calm.
it's
Yeah, just
calm. Yeah.
yeah.
Just stay. Yeah. That's like, no, it's no chill, bro. Whenever you get one of those. But speaking of interaction design, there was a really cool design that I've seen from Gavin here on X. And this is really fascinating. So speaking of UX, I, like many people who've used an iPhone forever, have messages that go on for ages. And what attracted me to this concept, how usable is it? I don't know. But the concept here is just that you can use kind of like a time machine scrolling for going back with messages. I don't know if you've ever been the victim of like either scrolling through emails or scrolling through like
Hmm.
long texts. You're just trying to find that thing on the back, but you kind of know where it's at time wise. You're like, oh, we talked about that in March. Like to go back from a message in March, it's just painful. And this interactive design was really fascinating because it reveals like the timeline to the side, and then kind of has like an advanced scroll, and it combines a couple of those elements from the time machine backups that Apple has, which some users may be familiar with, which has that scrolling timeline in the back. And it combines that kind of like interactive design, kind of bringing that to the future, right to the front with these types of customers. So I thought that was really, really cool. And for that type of thing to kind of show up on our timeline. I was, oh my gosh, traveling yesterday. Have you guys ever gotten a handwritten boarding pass? I did, thanks to Counter-Strike. If you post that or share that with us on X, let us know, because I'd love to repost that. That's kind of really wild. I've seen the photograph online, but that would have been interesting.
Was
Thanks,
that you?
CrowdStrike.
Was that your photograph? No.
No, yeah, right? Like the one that's spreading viral on the internet and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I think that was kind of, this is like what I call like my cool feature design for the week that I saw was interesting to share with you. And so definitely wanted to do that. I think you also had one on your plate here that was called Swappy. So tell us a little bit about this one.
Yeah, it is a drag and drop, it seems like library. It's actually you're the one that shared this with me. You have a whole bookmark of all good UI designs that you come across Twitter. I think Twitter is like or X, whatever you want to call it. It's a great resource to find like UI inspiration. There's so many like great accounts. But for this one specifically, like the little demo that I showed, I think it displayed it really cleanly. Like, something as simple as dragging and dropping, you think it's simple, when you look at it, but in a technical perspective, it's pretty difficult to think about because you have to think. I think the terminology they have, there's like a droppable, there's a drop area, there's the actual thing that you drag into that area. How do you, like in this video, let's see, will it show? I'm not sure, but it like readjusts, it knows like where to put the next element, so it's still in that contained box. Yeah, like that. It's insane. It's pretty
Yeah,
crazy, and
like I
it
can
knows
drag this
like.
one over here and see how it resizes the sails and like crops it
Mhm.
nicely. That's beautiful.
That's insane. And then the good thing, it works with all these frameworks, React, Vue, Svelte,
Oh,
Solid,
oh, I
Angular,
see.
all these. And that's pretty because usually some of these libraries, there's one called like React D&D. It only, I think,
Mm.
works with React. And there's another one called Hello Pangea. There's another one that Atlassian has. It's called, I
Oh,
think, I forgot another one of my,
this is
what's it called?
hot. Oh,
Yeah.
how? Okay, can we get V0 or like Shatsian folks to implement this? How
I'm
fire would that
surprised there
be?
isn't a
Yeah,
draggable with Shatsian yet.
that's hot. Oh my gosh, this is great. Look, I mean, it's so fun. I like design like this. It's
And
like you
it's
build
cool
custom
because the
dashboards.
demo
Yeah,
is like right on the page. So like you're playing around with it and you're like the experience that you're getting, right? Let's say it was just an image. It
let's
was just
go.
an image and it was static. You can't really
Right.
play around or use it. You
Mm,
wouldn't have that same experience, right?
facts.
So because the users you want the users have short attention spans, you want to get that feeling as fast as possible. You want them to, use it. Oh no, what happened to Ray?
Oh, my camera, for whatever reason, goes out sometimes. So what I have to
Okay, okay.
do is select the camera A, which is that one.
There we
And
go.
then
There we go.
my little Osmo Pocket kind of gets excited for whatever reason. It's like, hey, we got to cool down for a little bit because I'm so, you got so much fire. Oh, yeah, it just disappeared. GG. Let's see. It's okay.
Cam is overheated. Someone's saying, "Is your cam overheated?" Let me see. This
Nah,
is
it's funny because my other camera has a fan, so that one has a fan. It's good, but it's basically, yeah, no, it's good, but it's all good though. I think we're Gucci fam. Cool, we're back in the game.
nice. Yeah, we got one good comment in the comment section, I think.
Which one? From S7
Let me
Tracker.
see.
This one.
Yeah. hmm This is good for customizable dashboards, but I think some of the transitions don't make sense, like the 700 plus in a wide format, so much white space. I think this makes
Hmm.
sense for on some level though, but guardrails would be needed. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then the idea of white space and the design fundamentals and stuff that comes into play too. So yeah, this is just an example, right, that they're showing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to do more research or look into like what it might not make sense to have that as a wider version. That's a good point.
Yes. Is this a live dashboard? I don't. This is an example dashboard, and so I'm able to drag around the things. But because it's with React, you can do whatever you want. So yeah, you can pull in a live feed. I imagine maybe for like admin dashboards type of things. So yeah, no, everything's good now with the cam. So we're Gucci fam. So yeah, this is Swappy. I think that was really cool design of the week, right? That's been happening. So I think we're getting time now to see what's going on with the winners of the stream, because there are people who've been tuning in. If you haven't already filled out the dub.sh /win live, And this is basically our way of getting to connect with you and you telling us a little bit about yourself, because our goal is to basically talk about design here at the Design Corner. And this is our inaugural podcast. So by you telling us a little bit of information, it takes you like less than a minute to fill out. We're going to pick your name. So let's go ahead and while you're doing that and people are kind of filling it out at the last minute, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pull up the list here, and see if I can get some of the people to see, let's see who, like how many people have filled it out, and then kind of see if we can pick a lucky winner. So I thought we would kind of do something fun when we do this. So the Design Corner show. So it looks like we've had about results, 15 people who have responded so far. And the looks like the average time to completion took about 1 minute and 1 second. So it took just about that long. So if you're filling it out, go ahead and start finishing it up. And because I'm going to call time and we're going to kind of do that. But if you missed it, we're going to do a raffle next week. So let's just say we already called the winner. You haven't lost yet. You still have an opportunity to win next week. So that's going to be pretty awesome. It's something that we're doing because we feel like it's really important to directly connect with you and understand this information. Just like good design, data is really important. So if we start talking about topics and things that aren't really relevant to most of you, then we feel like that's a waste of your time, our time, and the effort that we want to put out here. So this is just a show with the two of us, with our backgrounds, and we feel like that's going to be super helpful. So let's see let me go to, we have 16 people who have signed up. So let me go to the Google Sheets, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is extract out the first names. So that way we value people's privacy here. And then I'm going to show you the number list so that you understand what number you are on the show. And then I'll kind of broadcast it back to the left. So did I capture people's names? What is your email? Okay, last name. Name. Oh, okay, cool. So first names here. Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to get these here. Cool. And then boop. Okay, so we have 15 people. Okay. And
So are you gonna announce it, or if we
yeah,
should do
so what
drum
I'm going to
roll or
do is try to pull this. Okay, so here's what I've got so far. I'm going to minimize this one. And then that way, let me see if I can make this bigger. Yeah. Okay. So I thought it would be fun to maybe, I don't know, use Siri to pick a number from 1 through 15. What do you think?
Fingers crossed. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm just going to tell Siri, let's go. I have to get close to the microphone just so you can see it.
Nice.
Pick a number between 1 and 15. Who's the lucky number? 7.
7.
Wow. Yeah, so 7's our lucky number here. Whoops. So if you're number 7, the name is Harshal. So Harshal, you are our lucky winner today. You have actually won a $25 Amazon gift card. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is just send you an email after the show, and I'll let you know that you're the winner and just confirm that you are who you are. I hope it doesn't get filtered through the inbox. It should be coming from, my @rayfernando.com email. And that way that, it's coming from me. And we should be good. That'd be awesome. And for those who didn't win today, you'll be basically entered into next week's thing so that you don't have to refill out the form. And we appreciate you participating with us, because I think this is kind of our inaugural stream. So congratulations to Harshal for winning today. Yeah,
yay! Congrats!
Yeah,
Yay!
cool.
Support from the chat.
Yeah, congratulations!
Hello,
it's so
Inez.
Cool. Yeah,
Nice.
For designing website in Next.js, which library is best? Let's see.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of great libraries. Actually, I compiled a couple resources. I created like a GitHub repo or README with a bunch of different UI component libraries. Shadcn UI is like the top component library out there. So with these component libraries, they help you, build UIs pretty fast. So you got Shadcn, you got Next UI, You got what else? You got Syntax, you got UI, you got a new one that went like pretty viral, Magic UI Kit
Oh yes.
.com. There's a bunch of them, and if you just even type next or great UI component libraries, that's a great place to start.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's we could probably do a whole show on that because I'm actually kind of building our landing page using Magic UI and some other things. So yeah, maybe we should do that as part of one of our topics and stuff. So yeah, thank you for joining our stream. We're live. We're trying to do a show every Saturday, right at 9 o'clock, and we'll be basically streaming to you on X, on YouTube, on Twitch, and maybe more more resources soon. I'm not on LinkedIn, but people like want it on LinkedIn. I don't know if it's worth my time. I'm not a
Ew,
LinkedIn bro, but
LinkedIn.
yeah,
I'm
LinkedIn. Yeah,
kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
yeah, that's
LinkedIn
just good.
is all right.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. But yeah, no, thank you for joining in, and yeah, we'll see you next week. And for those who did have won, or haven't won, your name is going to be entered for next week. So next week we'll pick out that. And for those who haven't filled it out, just go ahead and fill it out dub.sh/win live, and you'll have the opportunity to win a $25 Amazon gift card for our next show. So definitely appreciate everyone. This is a really great time to kind of hang out with y'all. And I'm just really proud that we're able to kind of pull this off without any major hiccups, and have a bunch of improvements for our next show. And we'll look forward to seeing y'all soon at the Design Corner by Ray Fernando
Yay.
and
Hosna Kasumi. Yes, thanks for tuning in. And
cool.
see you next time. Yep.
All right. Bye, y'all.